Hi. So in this video I'm going to show you how to calculate the magnitude of a vector. So we learned in a previous video that the magnitude describes the size or the quantity of the vector. So for any vector, AB, or however it's described, or if it's a single letter, or if you're simply given the components of the vector, we can work out the magnitude. The way that we explain magnitude in terms of its symbols is it's these two vertical lines outside of the vector, like that. That shows what we're doing is calculating the magnitude. Okay? And to calculate it, it is the square root of the x component, which in this case could be p, squared plus q squared, all square rooted. Okay? So we would do p squared plus q squared and all square rooted. So if I want to calculate the magnitude of A, it's going to be 4 squared plus 3 squared, all square rooted. So that becomes 16 plus 9, which is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. And hopefully maybe what you might have realised is that this is actually just Pythagoras. So if you forget the formula, you can derive it yourself from understanding Pythagoras, because you see you're squaring both of them and then taking the square root. Okay? Do another one. Square root of negative 10 squared plus 1 squared. Square of negative 10 is 100. Square of 1 is 100, and so is 1, so it adds to be 101. So we're taking the square root of 101. So we press S to D, so it's 10.0449 ... which could be 10.05 if you rounded it to 2 decimal places. Same again, 15 squared plus negative 3 squared. 15 squared plus negative 3 plus negative 3 squared gives us 234. Because 15 squared is 225, negative 3 squared is positive 9, and then so we're taking the square root of that, which is 15.297. The 2 decimal places would be 15.30. I've given you the components for these 3 vectors. However, if you were told to calculate the distance between the following pairs of points, first thing that you need to do is simply calculate the position vector. Okay, so we firstly need to get AB, which is going to be B minus A, which we learned in a previous video, which will be 10 minus 1, which is 9, 4 minus 3, which is 1. So we're finding the magnitude of that. 9 squared plus 1 squared, which is 81 plus 1, which is 82. Square root of 82 is 9.055. The 2 decimal places would be 9.06. First thing we need to do is get the vector, which will be k minus j. Negative 2 minus negative 3 becomes negative 2 plus 3, which is 1. 10 minus 7 is 3. So we're getting the vector magnitude to be 1 squared plus 3 squared. 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, so it's square root of 10. Which gives us 3.162, which is 3.16 to 2 decimal places. So that is how you calculate the magnitude of a vector. So it's remembering that squaring a negative gets a positive, as that if you put it into a calculator wrong, you could end up with a mistake. And also remembering the notation, which I've actually not put in for these, with the vector with the 2 lines beside it, around it. Okay,